Thank you for clicking on yet another Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more bonus. Like I said, I was doing a lot of these. I did 3 within the last 2 days. If you expand that to Tuesday, to the last week, this is the 4th. I've done The Gray Man on Netflix. If you want to check out that review, that's out there. Bullet Train, the new Brad Pitt movie that's in theaters. I covered Prey, the new Predator movie on Hulu. And They, Them, the new slasher film on Peacock. Today, however, I'm stepping back to a movie I didn't get to see in theaters. I really did want to check it out in theaters. It just never worked out that I got to. I have a copy of it on Blu-ray now, and I just finished watching it. But because it did release in 2021, I'm giving it a review. And, yeah, I don't have to see it in theaters just to review a movie that is new this year. And obviously, because I do the streaming movies. But this is one of the few times I've done one that is new and on Blu-ray and or DVD. Or streaming. I could have streamed it, but I like physical media. I might have to do a video on that one day next year, because my calendar for this year is booked. So maybe next year I'll add that somewhere. Why the Smashy Smashy Eggman prefers physical media versus strictly streaming. I'm not opposed to streaming. I just I don't know. I like being able to put a disc in a player and watch on whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't need to worry about finding it, because that's a task sometimes. You can't always find what you want. On streaming. Anyways, let's talk about the movie I'm here to talk about, not me ranting and raving about streaming versus physical media. But I just finished watching Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I've heard a lot of good things about this movie, and they're all true. All the good things I've heard about this particular film are true. I kind of wish I checked it out in theaters when it was out. I know it got re-released recently. It's spending a little more time in my area. I've seen it. I just I had it sitting on a shelf, so I figured, why pay? I already paid to buy the physical disc. I didn't feel like paying again to see it in the theater. Also, finding the time. I could have driven out and did it, but then it turns into a thing. It turns into a thing. Anyways, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah, it's really good. It is a really, really good movie. And after seeing Bullet Train, which was amazing, and then Prey, which was average, and They, Them, which was below average, this was really good. This really brought it back up because it was a lot of fun. It's a real good movie. It is 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it's long. I honestly, when I was plotting out my day and watching this movie, I honestly got it confused with the runtime of another movie I still want to check out, which is only in theaters right now, Elvis, and that one's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I thought this one was also 2 hours and 40 minutes. So let me tell you, when I realized it was only 2 hours and 20, whoo, I saved 20 minutes. I saved the time it takes me to film one of these. So that's nice. That's nice to be able to realize that. But it uses its runtime very well. It doesn't drag. It just keeps going with its plot, and it's got a lot of great moments, a lot of really interesting ideas and concepts as far as a multiverse goes. Like, comparative to Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, which also released this year, this had way more interesting ideas and did way more with the concept than I feel like that Marvel offering did. So, we have our main character is Evelyn. She is being audited. Her family is being audited because they have not filled out their taxes properly, and they own a laundromat. It is also the Chinese New Year. It is that day. I don't actually know what day Chinese New Year is, but it is that day on the calendar, and they're throwing a party. She is upset because she has a husband she currently is kind of about. She has a daughter who she tries to not push away, but doesn't necessarily want to keep her close. and she's kind of embarrassed by the fact that her daughter is a lesbian, not because of any other, but because her father is living with them, who is very, she doesn't think he'll be for the idea of the girlfriend. Not only because, they're of Cantonese, Chinese descent. I believe that's Mandarin Chinese. Yes, they're Chinese. They're of Chinese descent, and the girlfriend is white. So she believes those two things are not good for the grandfather. The daughter really wants to get her to be known for what she is and who she is. They go to the tax building, the IRS building, where they meet their auditor, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. But as Evelyn is finding out, she starts learning about the multiverse from her husband, who keeps having a version of himself from another universe pop into his head. So he keeps taking off his glasses and just starts talking. You find out you can connect to other versions of yourself in the multiverse by doing something weird. These indicate switching shoes between feet, eating chapstick, peeing yourself is apparently a really good way of doing it. Swallowing a decorative frog is one of the ways. And probably the most famous one from this movie is the butt plug fight scene, where two people are fighting over if somebody can stick something up his butt so he can connect with a different version of himself. When you connect to these versions, you learn their skills. So if one version of you in an alternate timeline is a great fighter, you connect to that one, you're now a great fighter. That's how it works. And these timelines happen by choices. So basically, every choice creates a new timeline. So there are hundreds of millions, thousands of millions of timelines out there for you to pull from. As long as you exist in them, you can pull from them. That's kind of the thing. You find out there's a big evil who is now connected to all of themselves at once. Everything everywhere all at once. They are connected to everything. They can literally, they don't need to do something dumb to connect to another universe. They can just step in to each universe as they see fit, and they're looking to destroy the universe with an everything bagel. That is what it's called. It's called the everything bagel because she put everything on a bagel. Literally everything. Everything. This is a really good movie. With that, Evelyn is the only hope of stopping Jobu, who is the one who put everything on a bagel. You learn Jobu, and you learn this pretty quickly. This isn't like a spoiler or anything. And plus, this movie is now on streaming. It's now you have way more access to it. I'm going to be more liberal with this review. You find out that Jobu, the villain, is actually Evelyn's daughter, who one of the universes Evelyn experimented on with the multiverse jumping technology until she became everything. And that's just kind of it. It's Evelyn trying to learn what's going on while also dealing with the fact that it's her daughter. And how do you handle this situation? It's really fun. I think they have some really interesting universes. You have one where everyone's hands are hot dogs, where that's re-evolved from hot dog-handed apes. That one's a pretty funny universe. Where also that one is Evelyn and is in a lesbian relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis's character. It's fun. It's fun. You also have a universe where life couldn't be sustained, so there are rocks. And it's just this great moment. It's this great moment because they can't talk, so it's just subtitles. And it's quiet, and all you get are the subtitles on the screen and these two rocks. And it's just a hilarious moment. It is really funny. Evelyn makes a weird reference that then turns out to be true in a universe because she can't remember the movie Ratatouille, so she says Rakakuni, because it's a raccoon, Rakakuni. And then we find a universe where, yes, this is happening. Rakakuni is a thing. There's a chef who's being controlled by a raccoon under his hat. It's a fun movie. It does a lot of interesting stuff with the multiverse idea and being able to connect to your other selves. throughout the multiverse. Also, how major changes or even minor changes can affect who we are and what our lives turn out to be. So it's a very interesting movie. I really enjoyed it. Again, it runs really smoothly. I have no complaints about this movie. Does that mean it's perfect? No. Does that mean it's a top contender for my top 10 favorite movies of this year? Oh, definitely. It's if I were to sit down and make a top 10 right now from what I've watched, it's on there. I can't imagine that it wouldn't right now. I mean, we still have a little less than half a year. We got 5 months left. But, yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. It was very well made. I like the fact that as we went through universes, our aspect ratio changes from, like, widescreen to full screen to letterbox to, and some of the quality of the film, like, it changes too, depending on where we are. Most of this movie does play out in the IRS building. It's not until our false ending, because I loved it. I knew there was a false ending. I knew it was coming because at this point, yeah, a lot of people have talked about it. There have been a lot of reviews about this movie, and I'm just one of many at this point. But it does have a false ending where it does say the end and credits start rolling, and then we find out we're in one of the other universes who are watching the first half of this movie, or the first part of this movie, as a movie before we continue on. And then we finally leave the IRS building for substantial portions of the plot because we jump into a side dimension, which basically is the same Evelyn we've been following, but this Evelyn wasn't tapped to be the one doing the universe jumping. But by this point, Evelyn has reached everything, and therefore she's able to universe jump again without doing the silly stuff. So the silly stuff, they don't overplay it because, again, basically halfway through the movie, we don't need it anymore. The two characters who need to be able to jump can just jump freely. So it plays out very nicely. It's like ha 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 at the beginning, and then they get rid of it before it gets stale, which is that's really good writing. It's really good editing to not try to, like, drag a joke out. Basically, once you get past the butt plug fight scene, there's nowhere else to go. There's no up on that joke of doing the weird stuff to activate other universes. There's no up on it, so they hit the ceiling and went, yeah, we're good. We found the ceiling and we don't need to go higher. Which is good. It's good. It's a lot of fun. Again, I really enjoyed this movie. You can, again, go out. You can buy it. You can rent it off of most streaming services, like Vudu, Amazon. It's probably actually streaming. I'm not actually sure who A24 streams through. I don't know who A24 actually streams through. Because they're not... they're a smaller company, so they're not like, oh, this is Disney, check out Hulu, or like any of those. And I'm sure it's on a platform. It might be Netflix. It might just be rental. You might just have to rent it off of like a Vudu or an Amazon or one of those pay services. iTunes probably. I think they do video. I feel like iTunes does video. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought everything, everywhere, all at once. It was a lot of fun. It was a very enjoyable 2 hours and 20 minutes. I liked it, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. All right, I'm almost caught up where I want to be with 2021 and movies right now. I got one more, and that's Elvis, that I still want to check out. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to check that one out Monday. So hopefully I will finally check out Elvis and be able to post a review for that as well, and then I'll be caught up. I can't believe it. That doesn't seem probable, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, check out Everything Everywhere All at Once. Check out the other reviews I've been posting the last couple of days for reviews. Again, we got The Gray Man, Bullet Train, Prey, and They Them. all up. So yeah, I'm Martin Prevost. This is Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. Like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any content. And I will hopefully talk to you soon.